Hey everyone, Gary Sibbs here, back with my final video for the Cheltenham 2020 Anti Post selections roundup. In this video, I'm just going to have a recap for everybody of all the bets that have been put up so far. Quickly go through them, go through the prices that we've got on at and the prices that they are currently now at. Maybe point out if you still haven't put your bets on and you're following me, one or two that might have drifted out or come in where we might stick with selections. As with any anti-post selections, when you always do them leading up, there's always a few that end up falling by the wayside, and that's the case with a couple of mine. But after this weekend, we've had some brilliant racing this weekend over at the Dublin Racing Festival, and as far as two of my big fancies for the festival have gone, we have seen some massive market movement into two picks that I have had that we'll come to in a bit. And then, like I said last time out, we had a little bit of surplus cash of the pot that we're going to use up, and I've basically come up with a couple of lucky 15s to use that money up at the end of the pot, mainly using a combination of selections that we've already had, and then just I think there's one new one in there where I've changed a selection in a race. But yeah, we've had some brilliant racing this weekend. If you've been taking note, you've got some brilliant clues have been added to what's going to come at the festival. Hopefully giving you all a good bit of insight into selections that you maybe had of your own. But yeah, we'll start at the very top, go back to video one. The first selection I put up was a £125 double. And that was for Tiger Roll in the cross-country chase and Paisley Park in the Stairs Hurdle. We had a 7-4 for Tiger Roll and 6-4 for Paisley Park. I said at the time I was putting those two up because I felt that those prices were value for money and would only come in. Tiger Roll is currently 13-8. Still for me, massive value for money. I wouldn't put anyone off backing Tiger Roll still at that price. I think it's crazy odds, and on the day we'll go off even money or less. So still don't be worried about sticking Tiger Roll in your doubles, trebles and anything else, because I still think there's value to be had there. Paisley Park's into 10-11. Obviously, like I said at the time, I expected him to go off at 8-11 or shorter. He's come in quite considerably since I put that bet up. Again, I still wouldn't put you off putting him in your multiples, but obviously that price has shortened quite a lot. But he is what a lot of people would call a banker of the festival. On from that, we went to the Ballymore. My selection for the Ballymore was Time Hill. Said at that time that he may go to the Albert Bartlett. That's still the case. Still 50-50 which race he's going to turn up in, I think. And he is still 10-1. He was 10-1 when I put him up, and he is still 10-1 now. Again, still not many clues really as to where he's going to go. What I can say is I think he's right up there if he does go to the Ballymore. I think he's one horse that I have took a massive liking to, and I said at the time I think that it was between two horses that I put up for the Ballymore, and that was Time Hill and the Big Breakaway. The Big Breakaway I think will be very hard to beat in that race. Again, like I said to everyone at the time, I can't be having Envoy Allen for the Ballymore. I would be all over him if I found out he was going to the Supreme, but I mean, he can go and win for 5-4 for me. He's just too short for me for what we've seen. So yeah, I'm on Time Hill, and again, he was at 10-1 and he's still at 10-1. I wouldn't be putting anybody off that. One of the big market movers, one that was brilliant to see at the Dublin Racing Festival, was my selection in video 3 for the Supreme Novices Hurdle. I put up Asterion Phalange. I actually backed him myself at 40-1, but by the time the video went up, he was into 33-1, best priced. So we tipped him up at 33-1, and he ran an absolute belting race over at Leopardstown, and romped home, beating he was, I'm just trying to find the distance he won by, but I thought he was outstanding. I thought it was a absolutely fantastic run. I thought there was a couple of guys that I'd spoke to, I hadn't really seen enough of him, and I was getting a couple of text messages through after the race saying, wow, this guy looks the real deal, supreme winners right there. And I think we've got an absolute cracking bet there. We got, like I said, we got 33 to 1. The stake was £20 each way. And, if that comes in, we're £825. We're in profit for the full festival with that one bet if that comes in. Still, nothing's guaranteed. This doesn't always mean it's going to happen, but the fact that he's hammered easy work, I've got it up there, 9.5 lengths it was in the end. I think that's a fantastic bit of work, that, and really happy with that bet. Next one, I put another treble up. Went for Benny Jadot in the Mares Hurdle. Put Benny up at 7-4, and he's now best priced at 4-5. So it's coming considerably. More than happy with that. I know there's a lot of talk behind the stairs hurdle for Benny. I don't think that'll happen. I think Willie Mullins is somebody who wants to take a win, and I think he'll go to the Mares and not go. Obviously, from racing fans' point of view, you'd love to see Benny and Paisley take each other on one day, but I just think for the festival, that's where Benny will end up going. Having fallen last year, it's not a trophy she's already got in the cabinet, so I think Willie Mullins will go and he'll take the Mares Hurdle, and I think we'll win the Mares Hurdle. Second part of the treble was Honeysuckle for the Champion Hurdle. I said Honeysuckle was obviously running this weekend at the Dublin Racing Festival in the Irish Champion Hurdle, and I said if I think Connections had made, I haven't actually seen, but rumour has it that Connections had made it known that if Honeysuckle was to win this weekend in the Irish Champion Hurdle, that would determine where they went at the festival. And the fact that Honeysuckle did win, I think that will then determine that they go to the Champion Hurdle. And at 6-1 now, it was at 10-1 at the time, so Honeysuckle has obviously come in for the win yesterday. And it was only half a length. I've seen a few people saying it doesn't marry up to the form of Envoy Allen. I think the hill will help at Cheltenham. I think, stretching her a bit more, it'll help. It was a first go back at the shorter trip, and I am still pretty confident in that bet. The fact she's coming to 6s, if I was backing that bet now, that treble that I got on at 10s, I'd probably leave her alone at 6s. I think 10s was good enough. But from what we've seen, you'll see in the Lucky 15s later on, I've been ranting on Twitter, for those who follow me, about another horse in the Champion Hurdle that I think is in with a cracking shout of an each-way shot. And in a Lucky 15, I'm actually going to put another horse up in that race. But as far as that one bet goes, for that treble, and at 10-1, I'm more than happy with that. That could come in. And the last part of that treble was Min for the Ryanair at 5-1. Now, Min was obviously beaten this weekend at the festival by Shakan. Now, I don't have a problem with that. For me, like I said in the thing, Min's much better over the 2.5 mile, and beaten over 2 mile by Shakan Passoir. For me, that'll only emphasise more for them to go for the Ryanair rather than the Champion Chase. I don't think they'll want to go to the Champion Chase, knowing that Altior's Air was beaten before. Been beaten by Shakan now. Defi Desoy's in there. It's a really, really hard race for them to win with Min, who is much better over the longer trip, and I think that will determine them going to the Ryanair, which I'm glad at, because I still feel that Min has a belting chance in the Ryanair. Disappointed to have not seen Aplatard this weekend. Aplatard would have given us a bit more of an insight, because I don't think Aplatard will end up going to the Queen Mother now, to the Ryanair now, sorry, instead of the Queen Mother. But at the end of the day, we're missing the prep run. I don't think now they'll try and get a prep run in Aplatard. I did hear I did hear the interview when they were talking about why Appletard wasn't running at the weekend. I've just lost my betting here. I'm trying to pull the betting up for it. But at the end of the day, Min's got that run under his belt now, and I can't knock the performance. Basically, 2 mile, not ideal. Ran a belter, got really close, and I think the Ryanair will be much more suitable, and I'm really happy with that. Best price for that one now for me, like I say, I got 5 to 1. You're pretty much the same. 92 is best price, but it's not far off the same. So that was a £20 win treble. That if all 3 of those won, was a good purse of £3,600. 3630. Then we're on to a bad one, I'm afraid. I was really hoping for the Marsh Novices Chase. I tipped up Lorena at 14 to 1, and I was really hoping that Lorena would come out this weekend and stick in a great performance. That wasn't to be. Didn't look right from the start. Something I haven't been on the internet too much today and yesterday, so I haven't read that anything's actually come out of any scoping problems after the race. But watching the race, there was clearly something amiss with Lorena, and it wouldn't even surprise me if we don't see her at the festival. It's time's too short now for another prep run, and been pulled up the last twice. Really disappointing to see, because she's been a cracking horse, and I hope they can get her pulled round, even if not for the festival, sometime after that. You don't like to see these horses with so much ability struggling like that. So that is one now. Like I say, I tipped her up at 14 to 1, and she's gone right out to 33 to 1. So I would be obviously leaving that one alone now. And if anyone is following, if I was to now put another bet on right now on for the Marsh, like I say, I won't be making any more selections until the actual final selections now, probably the day before each of the races. But you cannot knock the machine. What a performance this weekend for Heen. I'd backed him, and then had a second, backed him for today, and had a second thought that, oh God, I was looking back through the Leopardstown form, didn't really marry up. I was putting myself off the bet, to be honest, but he absolutely truly delivered, and although it was close to a close finish with stablemate Easy Game, he got the win, he got the job done, he pushed hard to the end, he showed grit and determination, and I think that was a great build-up race for the Marsh. So I would probably go with Flaheen if I was picking in that right now. Itchy Feet obviously won at the festival, is now right into 10s. I don't know what Itchy Feet was before that, but that was a cracking ride. Was it as good a ride as Flaheen? No, I don't think so. I don't think you can say that. Finished the race really well. Actually would have won by more. I've watched the race back, 2 out, second from home, pecked on landing big style, and had to regather himself and get pushed on, and still drove away after the last. So great finish, and probably would have won by more. But yeah, Faheen for me is just, like I say, everybody knows the machine. Faheen is going to go to Cheltenham, and is going to be one of the biggest roars of the festival should he be crossing the line in first position. So that's where we are with that one. Then we're on to the Arkle, where I put up Cashback, who had a very solid run this weekend. I thought he actually ran a cracking race. Couldn't have asked for much better. All right, never won. Clicked on something wrong there. Yeah, never won. Came second, but I've watched the race back a couple of times now, and got within a length, 3/4, half a length of Notebook. Will obviously have to reverse that form come the festival with Notebook ahead of him in the betting, but you know, like I say, I got him at 14 to 1 in an each way. Yeah, £15 each way. He's now into sevens, so I'm happy with that bet. Really happy. I think that'll return us some money. Worst case scenario, a place. So yeah, that's another one we're glad with. Then we are on to, let's have a look. We go on to the Mares Novice Hurdle, where I tipped up Marie's Rock for Nicky Henderson. Now, we haven't seen Marie's Rock since the 30th of December, and I don't think it's scheduled to run anywhere, but I believe the plan is to go straight to the festival, so I wouldn't expect to see that price change too much. Has come in from 6s to 4s. That must obviously be based on what form of others around and a bit of money. But I went for a win on that one, a £30 win, and I'm happy with that. Then we have another one that's drifted slightly in 2 for Gold. So this is for the National Hunt Chase, was 14s when I tipped that one up, and has drifted out to 16s, so just drifted a couple of points there. Again, not going to be seen now, I don't think, until the festival. So that you know, the betting in that one. I think there was a market mover in that. I'm just going to double check. As we scroll down the betting, typical, can't find it. Yeah, so 16s, yeah. Yeah, although 16 to 1, there's only 3 or 4 ahead of him in the betting, so I'm happy to leave that one for the reasons. Go back and watch that video for the reason. I won't go fully back through it, but yeah, happy to leave it 16 to 1 if you can get on now. I still think you've got a good bet there. On to the RSA Chase. I went through a phase when I put this one up of being completely against Champ. And I picked Manila Indo out at 6 to 1. He's still 6 to 1 for the RSA for the reasons. Again, if you go back and watch that video, I've actually been having a look back at this, and Champ is nuts, right? That's what I said in the video, that Champ is nuts, and he is nuts. But if he gets round unscathed, he's going to take some beating. You know, he's got to be up there with. I mean, you got Benny Dido there who fell last year, and he's as good a, maybe not an absolute banker with him being so nuts, but yeah, it's a difficult one, that one. I mean, I'm happy with the bet at 6 to 1, but I wouldn't have put anyone off putting Champ in. Not at the price now, but if in doubles and trebles and whatever, I can understand people going with Champ. But that's where I am on that. Happy to leave it in. Going to have to be happy to leave it in because I've backed it now. Then we went on to the Triumph Hurdle, and I backed Goshen. Was best priced at 8 to 1 at the time, and is now best priced at 5 to 1. So again, not been seen since. Obviously that race at Ascot. Won't be seeing a lot of these horses now. You're not going to see them till the festival, and we'll definitely run in the Triumph. I'm absolutely over the moon with this bet. I think we've got a, wouldn't say a banker. He's not in your Paisley Park Tiger Roll category just yet, but we've had one I do like in that, by the way, was and I haven't done it in these videos, but as I said to you in these videos, I have had some betting already back in end of November, early December, and I'd already backed in this race. I'd backed a Wave of the Sea, who was actually rocked up today and won when Aspire Tower fell. Now, would you have won? I think he's finished the race strong enough to claim that he would have still won. I think he finished the race really well. Aspire Tower fell, which is probably what pushed Goshen in on price and pushed Aspire Tower out. But A Wave of the Sea, like I say, is 16 to 1 now. And if you give me 2 minutes, well, I won't even look because it's not worth it to you guys, but I backed that at a lot bigger price in December. So if anyone was backing right now, because Goshen's into the 5 to 1, I wouldn't put anybody off having a win bet on Goshen, or if I was having an each way bet, my each way bet would be A Wave of the Sea. So that's where we are with that one. And the next one in the anti-post betting was Imperial Aura for the Close Brothers. Now was, let me have a look here. Was 25 to 1 tipped up and is now 12 to 1. Another big market mover has come in. At the end of the day, this horse, for me, you go back again, watch the videos. I'm not going to go into the reasons why, but for me, it's an absolute knocking bet. Even at 12 to 1, I still wouldn't put anybody off having an each way bet. Does hold an entry in the RSA as in the the RSA and the Marsh. So not guaranteed to be running here, but if it does rock up here, in with a cracking chance. I think it's its most likely destination, if I'm honest. Most likely place for it to go for a win. Kim Bailey would love a win at the festival, so fingers crossed on that one. Then we've had one that's taken a slight dint, but I'm not giving up all hope. And that's Kenboy in the Gold Cup. Obviously ran today. I was disappointed. I thought Kenboy would be right up for today. Beaten by Delta Work on his seasonal reappearance, and I thought the only reason he was beaten that day was because it was his seasonal reappearance. And I thought he'd come back today and not win easy, but I just expected him to win well, basically win well. There was a lot in the race that I didn't fancy presenting Percy. I don't fancy to be a Gold Cup winner. Delta Work has probably surprised me a bit, to be honest. I didn't think he was as good as that, if I'm dead honest. I didn't think he was as good as Kenboy on his day. But Kenboy's a 177 horse and ran to 172 today. So I still think there is room for improvement coming at the festival. At the end of the day, he's only had 2 runs. This will be his 3rd run at the festival. And I'm not giving up hope on him. The fact he's drifted out, obviously he's gone now after today's Delta Work beating him. But yeah, I'm not giving up hope. I'm keeping the faith with Kenboy. Whether he'll be my final selection or not too sure. But for now, I'm happy with that. I still think there's chance of a win. We've only bet him to win on there. But yeah, then we're on to an absolute cracking bet. I have been telling my mates about this horse since the beginning of December. I've had them all on the phone after the run this weekend, and I'm just getting the prices up. This is William Mullins' Appreciate It for the Champion Bumper. I have been on this horse, like I said, for quite a long time. Actually forgot to post it up on my anti-post bets earlier on. By the time I did, it was 14 to 1. I've got to Appreciate It at something like 33 or 40 to 1 back early December, November time. And when I got the anti-post, I don't know why, I just forgot about it till I got looking at the race and I thought, no, I haven't put that up. But a few of my mates, they've only had a few quid on, but we're on the phone ranting and raving about this horse after an absolutely brilliant win yesterday. I'm just wondering how, won by 7 lengths against Risk Factor, and it's a cracking horse, and that is up there, right, with, is 8-1 now, 8-1 still, and I would encourage you to go in and chuck a lump on it, because that is up there for me with the Paisley Parks and the Tiger Rolls. I think he is a banker, and he will be in the bets coming later on. Then we're on to the Champion Chase. Silios Emery drifting now from 10s to 14s. I can understand why, because obviously he didn't get round and fell. Didn't get to see anything of the race, fell at the first fence. Not ideal prep at all going into a festival. Wouldn't be the first horse ever though to go in and win off the back of a fall. And at an each-way bet, you know, even better getting on at 14s, because I still think he'll be in the mix come the day. Yeah, a fairly tough race, but I'm not losing all the faith there either. Didn't see, if he'd have been dragged out the back for 3/4 of the race and fell towards the end, then yeah. But when he's fallen at the first, a fall's a fall, and providing everything's all right, he's not injured, he hasn't hurt himself, he can come back at the festival and have another crack. They obviously haven't got the run into him, which would be slightly worrying. They'll probably take him for a racecourse gallop somewhere, or get some hard work into him somehow to make up for not doing the work today. But hey, he won't be the only horse again not to go into the festival with his final prep. Then we're on to the Cashel Man in the Coral Cup, backed up at 25-1. It's still 25-1. Nothing's changed there. Then we are on to the Fox Hunters Chase, where I put up Billoway. Was 14-1 at the time. Obviously had that really good win the last day, and is now 9-1. Has come in considerably, £10 each way there. Really happy with that bet. I think we'll be getting some money back on that. And then one that's really disappointed me. It hasn't changed in price, but I picked out at a big price Home by the Lee for Joseph O'Brien in the Albert Bartlett. Had a horrific run this weekend. I don't really know. Again, I'm going to do a bit of digging to see if anything's come out as to why. Was 40-1, is still 40-1 for the Albert Bartlett. All his form has been over the shorter distance. This was a step up slightly in distance, and I don't know if it was that he didn't get the trip. He was never in contention. It wasn't like he was in contention and then just didn't get the trip. He was never there, which I just find baffling, to be honest. He's got to step up again for the Albert Bartlett. The fact that it's 3 mile, I'm not sure without looking what other entries he holds. He's probably got another entry in maybe the Ballymore or something. So where he'll end up going now, I don't know. But that's just going to be a potluck one now. If I was tipping that right now, I couldn't be tipping it up after that run without knowing any further information, but that's how it is. And then we're on to using the pot up. So we had £30 left to use in the pot. So what I've done is I've put 2 lucky 15s on, okay? The first one is a win lucky 15. £1 stake, win lucky 15. So it's £15 some stake. And the horses I've put up, a Benny Dido in the Mares Hurdle at 7-4, I think is still a good price. When it gets confirmed Honeysuckle's going to the Champion Hurdle, that price will come in. 7-4 will be gone. Benny Dido will probably go off even money, maybe, something like that. I've put up Tiger Roll for the cross country, 13-8 is still great value for me. I have put up Appreciated for the Champion Bumper that I've just said to you is an absolute knocking bet for me at 8-1. And I've added my final selection in there of Min for the Ryanair. Again, I'm really happy with Min. I have no problem with coming second to Chacun Passoir. And that is a £1 lucky 15. If they all came in, we'd be looking at £1,045 or 15 quid. All right, so that is a lucky 15, Benny Dido, Tiger Roll, Appreciated, and Min. Then we have got the second lucky 15 is an each way one. 50 pence each way, lucky 15, total stake 15 quid. And I am going to put in there Asterion Phalange for the Supreme at 7-1. But like that's now obviously we've put him up a bigger price earlier. Billoway for the Fox Hunters Chase Imperial Aura at 12 to 1 for the Close Brothers. And the last one I'm going to put up is a horse. I said to you earlier on that I was adding another selection in for the Champion Hurdle. Super Sunday for the Champion Hurdle is 33 to 1. I had a couple of people on Twitter saying, oh, you've got no chance. That horse has come out for his prep run after a wind up, a later prep run than what he would normally have. Before this, he is, in his last 10 races at 2 mile, he's been third once, and in all other 9, he's been first or second. All right? I think he's got a cracking chance of being in the frame. He's never, ever far away. He's had the prep run. He'll come on for the prep run. Did he finish 4th, I think, this weekend? He'll come on for that run, leaps and bounds. Again, a solid horse that's always there and thereabouts. And at 33 to 1, I don't think you can go wrong betting him in what is a pretty weak Champion Hurdle. So that is, again, a lucky 15 each way. Imperial Aura, Super Sunday, Asterion Phalange and Billaway. 50 pence each way, total stake £15. If they were to all win, which probably, all right, might not all get there, 26,923 quid. Place money is what it is. I haven't worked all that out because there's obviously that many different combinations. So, guys, that is the end of my anti-post videos. I hope you enjoyed watching them. I will be back with some final selections. We've got 5 weeks to go at the festival. I'm getting right excited and ramped up about it for now. If I don't see anything that comes up that I spot that I haven't, I might stick a video up and just say, listen, anybody who fancies a bet, but for the £600 that I've used up, that's the pot that I was using. That's the one we're gonna look back on and see if we can actually make some money on how much money we have made or lost. And at the end of this video, when I come off now, there'll be a picture comes up with all of these bets on for you. All right, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for all the comments. Got talking to a lot of you in the comment section of the videos. Really good to chat to you all. And if you want to add me on Twitter at Gary Sivs, please do. I put quite a bit of stuff up there as well. And if you're on my bets, good luck, and I hope it brings you some money.